Ladies and gentlemen and ninjas, welcome back to the African Geekdom with I am Man JP. First off, I need my coffee because today we're here to review Anne Rice's Mayfair, which is, I'm very low energy. The whole affair was very low energy, so I'm gonna start sipping this coffee right up front. Let's try and get into it.
There are some who will lie to you. Evil comes in many forms.
We're bound together. I'm yours to command.
Your gift is the strongest thing I've ever felt.
The darkness is in her. I fear for us all.
You're special. Can you feel it?
For the first time in my life, I know exactly who I am.
The plot follows a neurosurgeon who discovers she is the unlikely heir to a family of witches. She must contend with a sinister presence that has haunted her family for generations. That is the plot, the synopsis of the plot on IMDb. I'll swear down, the trailer made more sense than the whole show. To be clear right up front, I loved Interview with the Vampire, which is another Anne Rice novel. Even the movie, long time fan of it. I did like this show, Interview with the Vampire, and going into Mayfair, which is, I had high hopes. Those hopes got dashed against the rocks of the roaring sea. I don't like giving bad reviews, but this was on the list of things I wanted to review. I wanted to watch it because I was genuinely excited. I didn't even watch the trailer for me to get excited for this. It's Anne Rice. It's part of this new immortal universe that's being brought forward by AMC. It's their franchise. Gun-ho! I was the lead, played by Rowan Fielding, I suppose, played by Alexandra Daddario. Nah, she did nothing for me. The man, male lead, co-lead, Cyprian Grieve, awesome name, Cyprian Grieve, played by Tongai Chirisa. Also, meh, did not stand out. The entity, Lasher, who possesses members of this family or controls them or whatever, it's fucking unclear, okay? Just a handsome guy with a fucking dad bod, near as I can tell. The most interesting character, who's a total dick, was Cortland Mayfair, played by Harry Hamlin. But he's a veteran actor, so he instilled in this character a sense of lasciviousness and disgust that really resonated with me. Why? But other than that, it was a dull affair. I mean, yeah, it's supposed to be about Lasher, I suppose, the main threat. But it's not established what his powers are, what he does, why we should be worried about this thing, this entity, who seems to be generally a pretty good guy. I mean, the first act of destruction in the flashback done by Lasher was against a fucking priest and a bunch of rabid townspeople, which, yeah, you know, they deserved it. So if you want me on the other side of this thing and not liking this entity, not help that the actor's performance wasn't a bad actor, but the way the character of Lasher was portrayed, there was no menace. Am I supposed to be feel the menace from this fucking thing? Or for that matter, why any of these women would be interested in it? What's its power set? It's established well what Cyprian's power set is. He's an empath, he touches things, he has visions. That's pretty fucking clear. And even then, it's like halfway through the show, it's barely established that Lasher is a threat, or that he's gonna be the main threat. And it's like a throwaway thought process. They introduce a bunch of a bunch of, you know, witch-obsessed mama's boys in the South who want to burn the women. Was this an afterthought? The threat, I don't know. Is it me? I'm okay for different types of storytelling. Tell it in reverse, I tell it through flashbacks, but the threat needs to be established very early on what the threat is. Okay, the direction. I think Interview with the Vampire suffered from this also. It was a bit meandering. Actually, another Star Wars thing. Keep putting Star Wars things, references in there to every review. The Mandalorian right now is suffering from that. What's the overarching theme of the season? What's the threat? What's gonna be the conclusion? How do we meet in the middle? The inciting incident, where you realize what your threat is. The center part, the middle act, where you realize, oh shit, this is the solution to this. This is where we're heading. And boom, boom, the conclusion in your third act, whether your lead characters succeed or fail at implementing this solution. It could go either way, but apparently there was a prophecy that's hinted at, and it only comes out near the last 2 episodes that there was a prophecy about the 13th. I don't know if it was the writing or the editing. I'm leaning more towards blaming how it was edited and the narrative was constructed by the showrunners, but there was barely anything compelling about it. And yes, I did complain that for Shadow and Bone there wasn't any suspense or any intrigue and build-up, but this also can't be all intrigue and build-up. There has to be payoff. I felt there was no payoff, and then there's the CGI. It feels like this was a shoestring budget of a show, which it shouldn't have been. AMC, what the fuck, Lord. I wish that everything I was seeing on screen was better. Even Alexandra Daddario, not a big fan. She does nothing for me. But her performance was not aided by the fact that everything else surrounding her was just not good. Everything could have been better. There was basically no effort put into this, very low effort. Not to disparage the cast and the crew, but beforehand, obviously, yeah, a lot of effort in the acting, the directing, but in the editing room is where I believe everything here went wrong. If they stuck to what Anne Rice's story was or is, they fucked it up in editing. I did not like this. I did not like this at all. I had to force myself to finish it, and that's not something I like to see. Yeah, man. I'd have to give this like a 4 out of 10. Maybe it was just my expectations. I don't know. I'll cop to that right here. Maybe I had too many expectations for this thing, but I'll give it a 4 out of 10. On my Shaggy scale, it wasn't me. She even got me on camera. But that said, though, I do hope they get another season. Okay, Mayfair Witches gets another season. Hopefully they can do better, and we continue with the Immortal Universe. Also, that Interview with the Vampire gets season 2. Is it still gonna be called Interview with the Vampire? Lestat and Louis, because that was his first book. I don't know what they're gonna call it. But the whole thing with the Talamasca was very interesting, and I do hope we get more of that going forward. So till next time, this has been me, your man JP. May the force be with you. May the odds be ever in your favor. Live long and prosper. Wakanda forever, my ninjas. I'll catch y'all on the next one.